back to another episode of Sitting Pretty in Chaos with Kai, where we heal, inspire, and awaken. I love y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for still checking out this podcast. Now, y'all, before I say anything, let me just go ahead and do a quick little prayer because usually I'm inside, I sage or whatever. So let's just go ahead and put up a quick little prayer. Lord, I come to you right now just to say thank you. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for just keeping me aligned and keeping my relationship with you closer, Lord. Lord, I just ask you to allow the Holy Spirit to work through me. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I have a slight idea, but Lord, I just ask you to just order my steps, give me the right words. And I pray that every person that come across this video, resonate with them and get whatever healing or growing or insight that they need to push them closer to their journey, Lord, and push them closer to building a relationship with you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen and amen. Now listen, y'all. I don't know what I'm going to name this, but let's just say my life has been like, I'm at a very odd place right now in my life where I feel like that I feel like my life is all over the place, but I also know that I'm in a line. Does that make sense? Like, is it just me? Like, I know that my life is totally where a lot of people on the outside may perceive and just say, girl, you do not get your shit together. Like, what the is going on in your, excuse my French, y'all. I'm still working on it. But I know a lot of people just like, what is this girl doing? Like, what is happening? Like, X, Y, and Z. And I just feel like on the outside, a lot of people would just be looking at me like, you're insane. And maybe I am delusional. Maybe I'm a little bit crazy. I don't know. I'm just going to tell y'all that I let my car get repoed and my mom was pissed. Well, she is pissed. Okay. Now, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of like background as to kind of like why. And also, I let my car get So at my school, like time blocks that they have for certain classes. So obviously, if I was about to graduate 3 days beforehand, this was my senior year. Y'all, was hot outside. So this happened on my senior year. So for my senior year, I had to pick and choose. Okay, I had to pick and choose. Either I still wanted to work. At that time, I worked like two part times at two different like major companies. Um, and so I was pretty much working full time and I was in school full time. But for my senior year, I had specific classes and courses that I need to take. And so I had to make the conscious decision like, am I going to get this degree or am I about to stop working and let my mom or let my mom to cover like my car to make sure I'm able to be well taken care of. Okay. My rent and stuff wasn't an issue or nothing. That wasn't an issue with my rent. It was really pretty much just, just like my car note and my car insurance, like pretty much. Okay. At that time also, and that's something on me also, because at that time I was probably like 23, 24. So, with my first car, nobody really taught me or explained like how you supposed to go to like your app or your website and be able to pay attention to like your car notes, dates and all of that stuff. I was not worried about that at that time because in my head at that time, I'm like, my mama just gonna, cover the bill for my car note, X, Y, and Z, and I need to focus on school. So I was not paying attention to none of that. I can't even tell y'all what. I have no idea what my car due date was or nothing because I passed over to my mama. I was just like, okay. Anyway, so I end up going to my friend's house. I went to my friend's house, and it's crazy because I was talking to a different friend on the phone, and for whatever I had saw a car had like pulled up with their lights on. I'm like, what the heck, But I didn't really think nothing of it. Child, once I went up in the house, whatever, I guess she had called. They had not she, but they had basically called the people, and the people that came and got my car, and that was three days. That was 3 days. That was 3 days before my graduation date. Mind you, at that time, y'all, I had a graduation party like scheduled. I had people that was coming in town from Chicago to come to Miami because y'all, I'm at the school in Miami. Whatever. So in my head, at that time, I'm like, and back then I was like, okay, I don't have the time to like crash out or like lose my mind or nothing like that. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. I lost the car 3 days before my graduation, so I ended up having to get a car rental. My people came in town. We already had like an Airbnb and everything. We graduated X, Y, and Z. So from that part moving forward, what I ended up doing after I graduated, I didn't even. First of all, that I graduated in May. I didn't even get an actual job until December of that same year. So we're saying graduated in May 2018. I didn't get a job until the first week of December. And I remember that because that's on my resume. But anyways, yes, it took that long for me to get a job. Okay. Once I start working in December in Miami, look, in Chicago, they have a great like bus like transportation situation going on. Okay. You might have buses that come every 10, 15, 20 minutes. Okay. In Miami, it's not like that. It's like the pace. Well, in Chicago, we call it the pace, where it's like they more strict on like the time frame with like what time you're supposed to get to the bus stop or whatever. So y'all, I used to leave work 2 hours early and get on the bus in Miami to get back and forth to work. I used to decide like, okay, I'm gonna get on the bus one day. I'm gonna get on the bus like in the morning, and at night I would like just take an Uber, and I did what I need to do. I worked on my credit, whatever, and then turn around. I think it was two. I said 220. I think 220. Why I keep saying 220? Maybe that's significant for somebody. But in 2020 is when I end up getting Shadow. Shadow is the name of my car, basically, I think. So basically, I end up getting like a car or whatever that time of that year. Now in 2020, and I think I got my car like around February. So February 2020 is I think where I got my car. Yeah. Then later that year, that's when COVID happened. And then I was in and out of the hospital a lot. I end up going on, that's a whole another different thing. I'll tell you at a different time, but let's just say that was around the COVID time or whatever. And I got probably the whole totally different testimony for that part. So I ain't even gonna get on that. But anyways, so in my head, fast forward to right now, when this situation, so I, the last time I've been working was in October of 2021. At that time, I was in Atlanta, and I also was working on my master entertainment business. And at that time, the Lord had basically told me, like, look, it was a lot. So, anyways, I'm back, y'all. So at that time, the Lord, literally, I was at work, and the Lord had basically, he had already been kind of prompting me to like reconsider or to like pretty much be done with that company basically, because my master's program, it was accelerated. So what you would typically do in 2 or 3 months, I was doing that in 4 weeks, in 1 month. And it was just very, very just overwhelming. So anyways, I stopped working in October 21. Okay. My rent and stuff was still being taken care of. The Lord had blessed me for my rent and stuff to be being taken care of. And so, for the most part, we just had to just keep up with like, more car note, pretty much X, Y, and Z. Now, fast forward to like right now. In my head, current day, this is now 2025. Okay. It is July. Okay. And so I moved back to Chicago in 2023. Right now I'm in Chicago and I'm with my family. So in my head, I just felt like that my car note is, it's not like it's like $800 or nothing, but I feel like my car note was expensive. And me and me knowing that my mom is the one that's having to cover the burden of covering my car note, I just felt like just get rid of the vehicle because my mom can use that money to go towards something else. I don't have no other bills. I have a storage, which is like $100, and I have my car note. Those are only two things that I pretty much had. Okay. And do y'all see how like all the subjects have all these distractions? So I just feel like it's just meant for me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording, but hopefully they hurry up and stop. Cause why gotta be cutting the grass at this time? Why do y'all do this? It's 8 o'clock. Why are you cutting the grass at 8 o'clock? You know what I'm saying? For me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording, but hopefully they hurry up. For me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording, but hopefully they hurry up. For me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording, but hopefully they hurry up. For me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording. Me to just tell you this. So I feel like I'm gonna keep recording. So in my head, I was more so thinking like it's been difficult with like keeping up with the car note, you know what I'm trying to say? And I got all the other stuff going on. And in my head, I just feel like all of that money that like my mama is spending, just to make sure I keep the car. I just feel like that could go towards something else. And I didn't want to be a burden. It's different if it was like 3 months, even 6 months. But I feel like that she's been covering and helping me for a long time. You know what I'm trying to say? I just feel like all of that money that like my mama is not. Also understand the fact that sometimes I be being stubborn, but also I just don't want to put all this extra on my mom, because not only is she like helping me with my car note, I'm also keeping the conscious mindset of just knowing that like we lost my brother. We lost my brother. We lost my brother. Then we lost my great granny. And the reality is that we don't really have no help. And this is no dig. If there's any family that see this video, y'all know I'm very honest. I'm very transparent. Ain't no reason to take it personal. If you take it personal, that's just a reflection. That's a mirror for you. And that's between you and God to deal with it. That's not for that. But the reality is that, like, I know that in our household, it's me, my mama, my sister, and my little brother. My little brother is 16. So it's me, my sister, and my mama. Like, I'm not saying that people may, call and check every once in a time. But the reality, we're really all that we really fucking got. You know what I'm trying to say? The reality is that if we really, really needed the, let's say, assistance, we can't really get it for real. Or we're going to hear something on the back end. Mind you, I don't really be trying to hear that shit because my mama is damn near like, y'all know how big mama is up on soul food, how like everybody would come near at any time. Everybody and their mama just stayed in my mama house. My mama is very much so like, my mama will give you the shirt on her back if she have to. My mom is just like that. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just know that my mom just didn't like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. She was very pissed off. She's mad at me because she just felt like if it was too much for her to bear, she would have said something. But I also know my mama. I know my mama that, what is these mosquitoes? But I also know that if it was too much to handle, my mama is not going to be honest and transparent with me and let me know what's going on. Because my mama will really my mama is very much so like, I know that my mama will literally do anything for me. These things on mosquitoes. I just don't want to get a mosquito. But my mama is very much so, my mama will do anything for me. And in my head, I don't want my mom to be being worried or stressed out over whether or not if she's going to be able to pay my damn car note when I just want her to just be more focusing. Oh, I don't know if this is a dove or what, but I just saw like, I think it was a dove. Who knows? But I don't want my mom to be like worried or stressed out about like whether that she can cover my car note or stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? And I just feel like at the end of the day, that's not her responsibility. But I also will say that, and maybe this is a message for y'all too, is that I also know that not only that, I know that I allowed somebody's opinion to influence on whether or not if I want my mama or me allowing my mama to show up for me the way that she may want to. You know what I'm trying to say? Because sometimes I understand that the devil will allow other people to have their opinion and their thoughts and to try to say their thing and speak fear into situations that you have. And I also think that there's a small part, I'll give it maybe a 10% thing of the fact that I allow somebody else that I know that possibly be letting the devil to use them, and I allowed that to influence on me just saying like, fuck it, I need to worry about this car X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm trying to say? I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I never see my mama this mad for real, for real. I didn't think she was gonna be like mad like that, but she was like, she was very so mad. And I think also like I found out that my mom also really wanted to make sure that I keep the car because she feels that like I might be like going down a depression type of road. Because for y'all that do not know, I do have a history of major depression, severe stress, and anxiety. But me personally, I didn't really feel like I don't feel like really depressed. I mean, yeah, I haven't crying a lot, but I'm crying for something else. Okay, I'm really just crying about grieving on where I thought I was going to be at because I just turned 31. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's a totally different thing. And I feel like a lot of people go through that. Like once you reach a certain age, you're just like, damn, I'm still not there. And in my head, I'm like, girl, I done went to school. I done did everything I was supposed to. I done went away and I done did everything I was supposed to be doing. Okay. And I ain't got pregnant. So I'm 31 with no kids. Skin is clear. Very know what I can store it. I stored everything that I do. I knew I'm a good person. So y'all, now I just see all these birds right here, y'all. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But I just feel like I just needed to just tell y'all and just be honest with you, transparent, like kind of like where I'm at. And I think I just want people to just be encouraged also because I know that right now, and I think that now, like to be quite honest, like I feel like now it being with it being 2025, I feel like now more people are like, oh, a lot of people are having issues with finding jobs and having issues with keeping up with their bills and stuff like that. But I feel like that has happened now that it's 2025. You know what I'm trying to say? I was looking for a job in 2024 and 2023. I graduated in I think 2022 and I was still looking for a job. Granted, I did do a couple internships. So it's not that I just strictly was just like just not working. I did two internships and neither one of those internships, I did three internships. Two of them was not paid. The other one was they'll give you like a little $50 or whatever for like gas, which is basically nothing because what is gas? You know what I'm trying to say? And then the third one, I think I got paid like the $500 a month. Okay, but regardless, I did three different internships. So it's like, okay, you know what I'm trying to say? And even still, things wasn't like extremely like difficult for me. I was still able to like manage and everything. But I'm like, just right now with me just being here, once we lost like with my brother, it was just that. And it's just like, I'm just not going to allow my mom to just work all these hours like a slave when I know that my bills is not necessarily her responsibility. And also with me knowing that it's not a material thing that's going to like, it's not going to kill me if I go without. If I, in my head, I'm like, if I've experienced with my car being repoed 3 days before me receiving my bachelor's degree, I can't, it's okay if I go without it again. You know what I'm trying to say? And maybe I shouldn't look at it like that, but that's how I looked at it because I am very thankful and grateful that I'm a person that I was able to experience going with and without. When I was growing up, my mom was fairly, well off. I guess you could say what they call middle class back then, but ain't no middle class no more nowadays. You know what I'm trying to say? So we talk about in the 2000s, like we was well taken care of, but we also experienced like going without it, going without having everything and having struggles. So I feel like I'm very humble. I have a very real rounded view because I've been with and I've been without. Okay, I've been with light and I've been without lights. You know what I'm trying to say? But one thing I always do, I make sure that no matter what I do, I always I always keep faith first. And so I just feel like that I think also another thing was just like I didn't really want to worry about whether the car note will or won't be getting paid. I don't want to deal with that because I feel like worry is also fear. And it's like if I'm fearing something, if I'm worrying about it, then I can't possibly believing in God and having faith up in him. You know what I'm trying to say? And so in my head, I'm just like, I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to, pay my car note and then 2 weeks later or in 20 days, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to go to fucking, well, I don't even like Walmart, but I don't know if I go to the store and they come and take my car. I don't want to deal with the anxiety. That doesn't give me no sense of relief. You know what I'm trying to say? I'd rather be without because even without it, and yes, I may have my days, and yes, I might be still trying to figure out exactly what the Lord want me to do. But I also know that I'm a child of God, and I know I don't make movements without me consulting God. And even prior to this, I felt like that it was a strong pull as like maybe it's time to let go of the car. Because also, and another thing on a side note, y'all, I just really felt like that once granted the car note was being paid, I was paying interest. If I'm not paying the principal, then what is the purpose of me even study paying on it? Because why would I want to, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to keep no car where when I bought it, I was supposed to be 16 to 17K and now I got to pay damn near 30 or 40. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I go to a bunch of no shit? Okay, it just really didn't make sense to me. Okay, but so I understand my side. I also understand my mom's side. And in my head, part of me is just like, oh, shit, maybe I should have never did that. But I'm also just like, I just feel like that Shadow did what it was supposed to do. And I just feel like if the Lord wanted me to keep this car, if the Lord wanted me to get this car back, then he's going to do that. Otherwise, he's just going to upgrade me. I don't know. Maybe the Lord was just going to give me another car and maybe I just walk in and I just buy it with cash. Who knows? I believe in miracles and I know that I'm a child of God and I know that if there's nothing that I would do, I know I wouldn't even have no degrees if if it wasn't for God. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have none of those degrees. I got these degrees because the Lord told me to. 2000, that's a whole nother different thing. I'll go back down there. But let's just say to the point that people made a lot of comments as far as like me going away to college and doing all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, I understand and I know that I'm a generational curse breaker. I am, and I'm not saying that I'm the only one, but I know that I'm a ringleader with breaking the generational curses when it comes in my family and in my lineage. I know that. So in my head, I know that everything's not going to make sense. And nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Nothing never makes sense until later. In 2015, when the Lord, I came back, I used to go to FIU, which is Florida International University. That's a good school also, by the way, guys. But I went there for one semester, y'all. I came back to Chicago for a Christmas break, and my mom told me that we couldn't afford to go there. And all I knew, the Holy Spirit, the Lord told me that I needed to go back to Miami. I didn't know the who, what, when, or how it was going to happen, but it happened. And if I didn't listen to that voice, I would have never got my degree, my associates, my bachelor's, or my master's, if I listened to what everybody else is going to say. So I know that for me, if it's something where it's just like, if the Lord tell me do it, I'm going to do it. But I know it all end up coming together. So I don't really know. Maybe somebody just needs to hear something. I don't know. Maybe that you don't understand why certain things is happening. And sometimes God will have you to go left, right, and above and to a dang gone river. Okay. And you may not understand. You may be like, I'm confused. You could very much so be like, I'm confused. But I also know the Lord doesn't, allow no level of confusion. But God is very mysterious. He is extremely mysterious. So mysterious. You just never know how the Lord want to work for you and in what favor and how you want to do it. We may think that he may want to do something one way in a certain direction, but he may like, nah, let's do it this way. Let's do that. It took me 6 years or 5. I don't know, one of the two, to finish school. And I still did it. So I don't know. Maybe this is just somebody's sign to just, if you struggling financially, just stay positive. Continue to have your faith. Continue to have some sense of joy. I'm not worried about no car note being paid. I know that for sure. So I don't know. I just wanted to let y'all know. And this is just a part of my healing journey. And I just want to let y'all know that it's okay. We're very real. And I'm real. And I told myself and I vowed to y'all that I was going to be honest and transparent with where I'm at, because you just never know how you could bless other people and in what way. And I just feel like I just need to be honest and let you guys know, because this is real. This is my real life. This is my real life. I'm not willing to beg nobody for assistance. So I wasn't finna just be asking, hey, can you pay my car note? Hey, I'm not doing this. If one thing you ain't learned is, after I lost my brother, if people was going to show up, they was going to show up. If people want to show up, they're going to show up. You don't have to tell them, hey, I need you to do this and that. They're going to show up. And they may not show up the way that you want them to show up, but they're going to show up. There's some friends that you have where you can call and they're going to cry with you. And then there's some where it's like, I don't know how to cry. I don't cry, but I got the tissue for you. You got friends, you got people for different reasons. So I'm not finna beg nobody to pay my car note. That's not nobody's responsibility. That's between me and God. And at the end of the day, this ain't even my car in the first place. This is God's. This is God's. And I understand that. And I really believe that. Because, hey, the way, you know what I would say? I said, look, Lord, your car need brakes done. You get what I'm trying to say? But I just don't want to deal with all of that. It's just really just not for me to deal with it. This ain't my battle. So I just feel like, hey. But anyways, I love y'all. I don't know what y'all gonna get from it, but 17:17 on the clock, so maybe I'm hitting on to something. But I just wanted to let y'all know that to continue to be faithful, that if everything is not the way that you expect it to be, if you're at a certain age and if you thought that your life's supposed to be a certain way and it's not, it's okay. Just continue to build your relationship with God and really just like seek him to get some type of clarity on what it is. Because it may not make sense to us right now, but who knows? In a couple days, in a couple months, who knows? It may make sense. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember, it's okay to heal one episode at a time. Bye.